All right, welcome to a trial called Swish. This is B More, hanging with my man Kev from Ohio. So he's
Man,
got a lot to say about what's going on with with these Cavs. Definitely a belt to ass situation. What's happening? So Kev, man, what's going on with your Cavaliers, man?
uh,
What's happening?
my man, I don't know what's happening, my brother. It's just a tale of two tales. You look at the previous game, everything was clicking. That 3-2 was working. We had Mobley at the top of the key and him just kind of being an anchor. And then this game, we just kind of got disrupted. I feel like the Pacers playing at a greater pace. It also shows that why Garland can create and Ty Jerome is a solid backup point guard, but he's not, he's not the creme de la creme. Like it's funny. Like, would you rather have the Pacers backup point guard? Or would you rather have Ty Jerome? Or would you rather have DiVincenzo? Sometimes you need these combo guards that can really rise, and I don't think Ty Jerome is that. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, I just think it's just they're playing at a greater pace. They're shooting better than they did the previous game, and we just all over the place.
The defensive rotation has been slow as hell. I mean, Donovan is trying to create, but Max Strus is trying to do something.
Hmm.
But I'm more shocked at your defense. Like normally, like I watch you guys throughout the season and even through the early playoffs, and normally the defense normally is pretty sound, but the Pacers are getting wide open threes like the whole game. And
Right.
y'all got Obi Toppin looking like 96 MJ right now. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Absolutely. And Obi comes from an Ohio school, man. He shouldn't even treat us like that. But I totally agree with you, man. It's like oh, Strus, while I think he's a good player, you see if he can catch and shoot, great. But the minute I need you to kind of create on your own to do it, it's not necessarily your strength. Same thing with Merrill, another catch and shoot guy. And I think you can beat some teams with that because you can just overwhelm them with defensive stops or Donovan just creating for them so that they ain't gotta create. But when they really strap up and I need you to create, that's what playoff basketball is all about. It really highlights who can't either defend their own position or who really doesn't have that overall game. So we got to figure it out. And even if we fall short this game, what do we do in this must win going back to Ohio?
Right. Is there anything you think y'all can do in the second half to just make it competitive?
No, I think I, you may come on the first 5 minutes, but after that, it kind of gets exploratory. I think if the Pacers keep their starters in there, great, because then we can kind of get a look to see what they're doing. But I'm gonna go to my bench. I'm gonna rest my guys. I wanted them to sulk a little bit, just to soak it in and see what adjustments we got to make. And you want to get out of this game unscathed, you know what I mean? Because if we lost, we lost. But I don't want to lose another player. So
Right.
I lick my wounds and get ready to go back to quick and loans.
No doubt, no doubt. So this is our first time doing like a halftime show. Let's talk about the earlier game.
Mm-hmm.
The Thunder, even the series, man. Like,
Oh, it's funny with Shock Lizzie. It's like, all throughout season, if anybody that was on FanDuel knew he was gonna get his 30. Right?
right.
It was kind of like now that playoff basketball's happened, the tempo slowed down, and you can kind of pick and choose. But they responded, and I love Caruso's on ball defense. They really disrupted what Jamal Murray wanted to do.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like it's just arms everywhere with their defense. It's like Hartenstein, Caruso, just Shea, just long, lengthy arms everywhere. Like Presti built that team to just to be. To, I mean, they probably shouldn't, but they can defend all five positions. Like you saw Caruso D'ing out Jokic in the paint, and
Right.
he was doing his thing, and
Right.
Jokic just looked tired right now. Like he's
Uh,
carried this team so much, he just looks tired.
yeah. It's funny, but someone like you're right about Jokic, but Aaron Gordon, man, is such a Henri snipe. I mean, he just does everything. Even when it took him too long to get that shot off, he still made the three. Like Aaron
That
Gordon is
was that was such a wild shot. He fumbled the handle and
right.
then threw it. And he just have that kind of. I don't remember a playoff run that individual players had when just like him. Like I mean, like we've got the LeBrons who had that Washington game.
Just
We've had these things, but just every series just having a moment. It's
yeah.
crazy. Even though they weren't going to win, but the fact that the luck, the skill has just been happening to him. That of course he's going to go in.
And that's an interesting matchup. I think OKC they got a lot of pieces. You know what I mean, but Denver is supposed to be, they're former champions. They gotta have grit. Like Michael Porter, I know he got a banged up shoulder now. Gotta give me more. I think they're really missing who's the two guard they had a season ago? Caldwell Pope.
Oh
They
yeah,
they
that's I've
energy.
been saying that the whole season with them. They don't have any good wing defenders. Listen, I will go to my grave. Michael MJP is like the worst defender I feel I've ever seen in my life.
Too
Like
big.
he, like people say like Dame is a traffic cone. Michael Porter Jr. is traffic. He can't play any defense, and if his shot is off, he is useless on the floor.
Yeah, and someone like Braun, I like Braun. I think he's got a lot of good energy, got a good skill set. And it's funny those I put him in the same class with like your Pritchards, your DiVincenzo's. You need these guys to emerge. And I thought like this game, he really didn't have a good game. I think he was kind of out there, and he had some open looks, did knock him down. But Russell fouling out was big too.
Yeah.
So it's tough. But them being 2-2, I still think it's a 50-50 series. I think if I'm a gambling man, I still feel like Denver pulls it out in 7.
I think I'm gonna say OKC in 7. I still feel I think this is their year. I feel like people have been too hard on them and saying, like I heard Stephen A. Smith saying, this is year 2 and you guys got Jordan. How long did it take Jordan to get past the Pistons? How long did it take LeBron to? I mean, these guys are young. They're younger than them. So I mean, this like chill. But I mean, this is that kind of team that they can't take it all away, but they gotta chill with just like he's gotta be real.
It's funny. Yesterday at the shop, we're talking about, and I'm one of the same people making that comment that so once they go home from this Denver series, go get KD in the offseason, bring KD back to OKC, tool him up with Shot Glizzy, and let's run it back. And then what happens? They win Game 4. It's like so. To your point, they got a lot of pieces. I think Jalen Williams is showing that he's ready. To emerge. I was asking myself, who would you rather have, Jaden McDaniels from the Timberwolves, or would you rather have Williams from OKC? Which wing guy?
I'm gonna go with J. Will, man. I'm gonna go with J. Dub. I just feel like I trust him more than McDaniels. Like I think McDaniels is a far better defender.
Yeah.
But as far as an overall player, I trust Jalen Williams. I trust Jalen Williams more.
Yeah. What is it looking like in the Eastern Conference? How do you feel about that?
Man, so with Boston, that's my squad, and I don't know, man. Because of my age, I feel like them shooting all those 3-pointers isn't a winning combination.
Right.
But they hit them. And they hit them more times than they don't. And I think the fact that when it went cold, they went really cold. And I still think if you're shooting 20% from the 3-point line, there should be an adjustment. But yeah. I get their arrogance. I honestly think they're going to rattle off 4 straight. I really do. Right. They're just a better team than the Knicks. They're just a better team than the Knicks.
And I see just even per the season, the away team is better on the road, and especially in that series, right? At Boston, New York series. So it's gonna be interesting, but I feel like Boston will win it too. If they win Game 4, it's scary. I definitely, to your point, I think
scary hours.
They'll prevail, but that's my only thing out of the East. I felt like I had fear. I got over that New York Knicks fear because I feel like we're a better team, top to bottom. Yeah. Even after getting Big Cat. But I think Boston is what kind of had to fear because of their depth. You got so many pieces, and when you can do a dual combo of Derek White and Drew Holiday, that's just tough, and that's formidable for like going up against a Garland. So I always felt like Boston was a real threat. So I wouldn't have been mad if the Knicks can beat them because I like our matchup better. But we'll see.
Yeah, y'all got trouble in this piece. Let's see.
Let's get past the Pacers first.
Right. All right, last one before we get out of here. T-Wolves. This series, man, like the Warriors, I know they're just trying to get to Game 6. Right. I don't know if they're going to get to Game 6.
It's tough because Jimmy giving you all he can give you, but, without Steph just changes everything. He creates so much spacing. He's a dog. He's experienced. He can be a follower, a leader, all these things. So without him, I just think they're going to run out of ammo. I think they're going to compete and they're going to be competitive, but and the crew will win that match. Will win that series. And you hate that a big part is injury, but it happens.
And the thing is, like, I think that's the best the Warriors can play. Yeah. Like, they got 30 out of Kuminga. Like,
right.
We forgot that Kuminga knew how to play basketball.
All right.
So they got 30 out of Kuminga. Mm-hmm. Jimmy had 30 also. I mean, Podziemski, he struggled. I mean, and Draymond, his goals will give you his triple single. But, but like I don't know what other tricks they can do. They played really good. They played really good defense until really the fourth quarter.
Mm.
And the thing is, if the Timberwolves keep it close and they need a bucket, like I was telling my nephew on the last show, is like Jimmy is a scorer, not a shooter. So the
Yeah.
thing is that if his shot's not falling and he can't get to the free throw line, there's nothing that he can really. He doesn't have to move. He doesn't have a go-to move. It's like what do you get from him at that point? And look, again, he got his 33 last night. I mean, so great, but that's a problem. Is like they don't have that knockout shooter. They don't have that player without Steph that like look, go to him. This is going to happen because the way they call him the fouls in the playoffs, Jimmy's not going to go to the line as much as he did in the regular season.
No, yeah. So two things to that. To your point, it's like I've been in debates that saying that if Jimmy Butler's your best player, you're not going to win a championship. So then over time, what happens? He gets traded to the Warriors, and now he's not the best player. And of course, they're a better team. But essentially, if I have to go back to relying on him just being the guy, I don't think his game is that either. I think he's good being a slasher, good defender, all these different things. But just to every set needs to go through you. I don't think his game is like that. And then the irony, I feel bad for Kuminga because as a fantasy owner, I had him during a regular season. He was cooking, and then he got hurt. And then when he comes back, Jimmy's on the team. And basketball is a game of rhythm. So it's kind of like if you're hitting less shots and all that, you gotta play through that. So I think maybe that's a glimpse to is what's to come, about Kuminga going off. But I think without Steph, they fall short.
Yeah, man. And listen, props to Julius Randle, triple double. Like, listen, I was down on him at the beginning of this trade. The way he played in the first half of the season was like, I'm like, hey, like he was playing as bad as possible, and Cat was playing as well as possible. And now I'm like, okay, I think everybody got what they need out of this trade. But yeah, props to triple double, play ball. He's been the most consistent player. I mean, Ant had highs and lows, but as far as someone's keeping him steady, it's no Randall.
It's funny. It's so funny. In the shop, there's like one Knicks fan, and they're hard on Randall. They're hard. Yeah. But he's it's funny statistically, even from the beginning of his career to now, he's improved every year. And I know he gets a lot of criticism, but his game is getting better and better and better. It's just that you just hope he's always buying into the team. You know what I mean? Pass it off. I don't need you to be the guy, just be one of the guys. So it's something. No, but
it's all right, man. I think second half is about to start, and with you saying that they just need to pack it in, I kind of agree that there's no comeback. So, thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate it. We got to do this again.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, no doubt. Peace. Take it easy.